Hello students, welcome back to the second video of the chapter Biotechnology Principles and Processes. In this, we are going to start with the generation or the formation of genetically modified organisms. What are the steps that are involved in the formation of genetically modified organism? The basic steps that are involved in the formation of genetically modified organisms are: first, we need to identify the desirable gene which is required for the modification of the organism. Then that identified gene is needed to be introduced into the host, where the introduced gene or the DNA is maintained in the host and multiple copies are formed, and after that it is then transferred into the DNA, into the progeny after the process of replication. So these are few important steps that are involved in the formation of genetically modified organism. Let us do it in a flowchart manner. First of all, the genomic DNA is isolated. It is then fragmented into small pieces, and then the screening of those recombinant DNA, the screening of the small fragments of DNA is done, with which small fragments which has the desired genomic DNA, which has the desired product is then, or the desired gene content or the nucleotide base pairs are present, that fragment of DNA is inserted into the vector such as plasmid, which is then introduced into our host for the process of replication. When the multiple copies of required gene or required DNA is formed, it is then cultured, and later the transformation of host cell is done. So this is the basic step that is involved in the process of recombinant DNA technology. In the first process, where the genomic DNA is isolated from the donor. So here is the process where the DNA, genomic DNA, the 90% of DNA, genomic DNA which we do not require is removed out with the process of centrifugation. After that, the required DNA gene is taken out and it is fragmented using molecular scissor, that is restriction endonucleases or the restriction enzymes. After that, the desired gene, the fragment that contains the desired gene is screened out, with after which, if the desired gene is formed, or we have extracted from the fragment the smaller fragments by the restriction enzymes, so those fragment of genes are then, like this is the gene which is our required gene, or the gene that contains the desired DNA sequence is then inserted into a vector, that is the plasmid vector, and it is entered into the plasmid vector. This is the vector where this required DNA is added, and the plasmid vector work as a conveyance or the vector to move to host. Now it is then introduced into the host with the help of various methods like ballistic method, microinjection method. In various manner, the recombinant vector is introduced into the host cell. After that, the culturing is done in order to obtain multiple copies or clones of desired DNA molecules or the fragments. Using these copies, the transformation of host cell is done so that we can able to distinguish between transformant and non-transformant. The transformants are the ones which have the desired genes, and non-transformants are the one which do not get the desired genes. So with the help of screening, we can able to do the transformation process, where the organisms that are having the desired genes will be sorted out or can be um, can be extracted out from the host cells. After the steps, we are going to see the tools that are required for the process of DNA technology. DNA technology or recombinant DNA technology can be accomplished with the following tools. That is, first is the restriction enzymes. They are of two types: restriction endonucleases and restriction exonucleases. Another one is the polymerase enzyme, ligase enzyme, vectors, and the host. First, we are going to talk about the restriction enzymes. Restriction enzymes are also called as molecular scissors. They are going to cut the genomic DNA into smaller fragments. So, the enzymes, restriction enzymes are the enzymes which is used to make cut in DNA in the process of recombinant DNA technology. In 1963, two restriction enzymes were isolated, or two enzymes were isolated from the bacteria E. coli, which restricts the growth of bacteriophages. What are bacteriophages? Bacteriophages are those viruses that infect bacteria or that they feed on bacteria. So, two enzymes have been isolated from E. coli. One enzyme added methyl group to the DNA and the other enzyme cut the DNA. So, the enzyme that cut the DNA was later named as restriction endonucleases. And the function of restriction endonucleases depends on the specificity of DNA nucleotide sequence. Therefore, the first endonuclease isolated was HIND2, which was studied and proved that HIND2 always cut DNA at a particular point by recognizing a specific sequences of 6 base pairs called as recognition sequence of the enzyme. What does it mean? It means that endonucleases or restriction endonucleases are the enzymes that specify or that recognizes a specific type of sequence which have 6 base pairs, and according to the type of enzyme they are going to cut the DNA from the exterior end or from the interior end. If it is cutting from the exterior end, it is called as exonucleases. If it is cutting from the interior ends, it is called as the endonucleases, thereby leading to the formation of sticky ends or blunt ends. There are 900 restriction enzymes that has been isolated from 230 strains of bacteria. Now we can say that from the 230 strains of different bacteria, we have isolated approximately 900 restriction enzymes till now. And these are few of the examples that have been isolated from the bacteria. Like EcoR1 enzyme has been isolated from E. coli, PST1 has been isolated from Providencia stuarti, SMA1 from Serratia marcescens, HE3 from Haemophilus aegyptius, HEPA2 Haemophilus parainfluenza. So these are few examples of restriction enzymes. Now, restriction enzymes are the enzymes that belong to nuclease class of enzymes. They are of two types. One is restriction exonucleases, as I have already discussed. Restriction endonucleases, what they do, they remove the nucleotides from the end of the DNA. And restriction endonucleases, they are the enzymes that cut at specific positions within the DNA, means from the inside positions. So how the restriction enzymes have been named, or what is the nomenclature of how the nomenclature has been done for restriction enzymes? First letter of the restriction enzyme represent the genomic name, and the second two letter represent the species name of the prokaryotic cell from which the enzyme has been isolated. For example, EcoR1. E means Escherichia, CO means the species name coli, R is the strain, and I is the order in which the enzyme has been isolated from that prokaryotic cell or the E. coli cell. Now, what the restriction enzyme do is it inspects the DNA sequences and tries to find out its recognition site, the specific recognition site, where it binds and cuts specifically each of the two strands of the DNA helix at their sugar phosphate backbone. So where the sugar phosphate backbone is present, they are going to make a cut, and the two strands are then fragmented accordingly. The sequences which the restriction enzyme recognizes are called as palindromic nucleotide sequences. What are palindromic nucleotide sequences? Palindromic nucleotide sequences are the sequences of base pairs that reads the same on two strands when the orientation of the reading is kept same. That is, if 5' to 3' in this direction, if the sequence is suppose in 5' to 3' direction, the sequence is GAATTC. Similarly, when the parallel strand of DNA is present from 5' to 3', the sequence will be again the same, GAATTC. So when the orientation of the DNA sequences is read same, when the orientation is done, that type of sequence of base pairs is called as the palindromic sequence. This is the example of EcoR1. Other examples are of PST1. When the DNA strands are, when the restriction enzymes are cutting the DNA sequences, they make two type of structures. One is blunt ones and other is the sticky ends. If the DNA cuts in the middle of the, if the restriction enzyme cuts in the middle of the DNA sequences, then it forms the blunt ends. And when it is cutting at the ends like this, in between GA and here in between GA, then it produces the sticky ends or the overhang ends. So these are produced, these two types of ends are produced by the different restriction enzymes. These are the examples which you can easily able to note it down, and these are the sequences which are recognized by the specific restriction enzymes. That's all with restriction enzymes. Hope you have liked this video. Thank you so much.